Welcome to another edition of Strange New Pod. I am your supreme leader, Girafe, alongside the best Maroon felon family this side of SETI Alpha 5. I am joined by, I will keep you as my Ivan forever, Hawk, just so you know. I am
Yeah.
joined by my Ivan, Hawk, who never trusted these new telepath guys anyway.
There's
Today.
always something.
That's something, right?
Yeah.
And coming back after 5 years in the desert, it's another Ivan.
It's another Ivan. Make us go, Ivan.
Back. Yay. How are we doing in the apocalypse, Fighting eels and stuff.
I just need to stop reading the news is what I need to stop doing.
Everybody voted because I can't vote, so I hope everybody voted.
I am not voting yet. When it is time for me to vote, I will vote.
We're voting in California. I have no idea how elections happen here, but Hawk, you didn't vote either. But
No, I didn't vote either.
yeah,
I'm all the way up
right.
here in the north,
The North remembers, Hawk.
North remembers.
And winter is coming.
It's almost Halloween, so I needed to speak about scary stuff a little bit. This week we're reviewing episode 8 of Star Trek Khan! And the original scene in this week's episode, we jump 5 years in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And to see a grown collie in a ship, the Venture, ready to fly. Tensions that we thought resolved resurface, and peace has never been so fragile. Woo will get to escape from SETI Alpha 5. But first, Julian, we need to thank our amazing patron collective at the Ready Room level and above.
Hey,
it's your turn.
It's me. It's my turn. I haven't been here. Yeah. Thank you to Simon Stager, Jeff Reeve, Tallulah, Jen Stein, Tina Alexander, Joe Saporito, Kung Hui, Takako Nagumo, Fernando Nogales, SMK, Colin Davidson, Shatterhand 2049, Jesco, Michael Graham, Emily and Travis, Maggie Light, Wayne Ritz, Skonavark, Sean, Jay Howard, Mehalani Uchiyama, Matt Harker, Joshua Lewis, Tara Poland, Slope74, Rude Parakeet, Adam Sanders, Amy the Magic Snail, Aaron W., Carl Angoli, Michael Kwan, Caitlin, Elizabeth Dean, Jim McMahon, Sedano317, Puka Hair, 3 Fry Short, Cat Tippe, Tripping the Read Alert over a Pineapple, Sean Manning, Asher at the Back, Chris Waterman, RHCB, Martin Simpson, Norman Buckwall, David Prime Hildebrand, Taryn J. Robinson, Rod Grenier, Eric the Red, Trouble, Jamie Roberts, Honeyberry, Paul Taylor Pitt, Brett Jones, Michelle P., Margin Walker 82, Melissa Bartell, Jesse Robbins, Kim Cresfinolio, Felix Dax, Kelly McKinnon, Chief Petty Officer Snuggles, and Lisa Moore. Thank you.
And of course, a big thank to our Bad Mirrors, our EP, who are making sure we will have enough rations to cross the desert,
Yeah.
Beef stroganoff.
Again.
Simon Stager, Chris Waterman, Tara Poland, Dana, Matt Harker, Jim McMahon, Maggie Light, Beth, and Michael Graham. Thank you. I like beef stroganoff. I don't know.
Beef stroganoff's good. I like it too. Yeah.
Do we have any news before we jump into the review? I see that you have some, Julian.
I do. I have news. We are back live again this Sunday. So if you're not listening to Khan and you want to try something new, you should actually listen to Khan and then go back and listen to our episodes because Draft's been killing it. And then if you've been listening to us on the USS Challenger, doing Star Trek Adventures, and as we call it, Strange New Adventures, we are at the finale of the starter campaign for second edition. It has been a wild ride, and we decided to go live on Sunday to do the finale because I have some surprises in store for the crew of the Challenger as their GM. It is going to be, I think, a really fun finale live at 9 p.m., not our usual 9:30 p.m., but 9 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday, the 2nd of November here on YouTube. Oh, and I have more news.
You have more news. I was
sorry,
like, that's all?
more news. So because we do Strange New Adventures now, this is all kind of connected. We got credentials for PAX Unplugged this year, which is one of my local cons here in Philly. So I'll be there checking out all the awesome, it's board games, it's tabletop games. I'm hoping Modifius is going to be there. Hopefully get to see some new Star Trek stuff. Also just, we're trying new things and it's going to be a blast. So I'll look for our coverage on that as well. And if you're going to be there, I know a few people who are going, find me. I'll have stickers as usual. Yeah, that's it.
I don't know if we have a soundboard now.
We do. We have it, but I've been enjoying you doing it, so I haven't been putting it in.
I've been doing all the sounds like, at home.
It's good.
Homemade sound.
I love them.
But it is time for the Strange New Loop.
I prefer the wild turkey sound. Now, I think that should just be like what it is now.
With Ivan back for one last fuck around and find out. You have to imagine that things aren't going to go well next week in the finale already. That's crazy. I can't wrap my head around this. How do you think it's going to go? Or is he going to go?
I have opinions.
You have opinions.
I have opinions. I think he is gonna go. I think that he's going to die a brutal death. You know how like in Jurassic Park, there's always the like slimy, douchey guy who then gets eaten by a dinosaur. I think that Ivan isn't even gonna have to get killed by Khan because even though he somehow managed to survive on the surface for 5 years, I think he's still gonna get eaten by some big SETI Alpha 5 baddie that managed to survive SETI Alpha 6 raining hellfire on the planet. And I can't wait to see it.
Hawk.
Yeah, I kind of tend to agree with that. I was thinking the same thing. It's like, we know like creatures under the surface are the ones that actually did survive, like all the destruction, the rain down from SETI Alpha 6. So it makes sense that he would maybe get taken out by a large bug, but no, it's really got to come down to like a battle between him and Khan. I mean, it's setting it up, right? He banished him for 5 years. Somehow managed to survive. Somehow managed to show up right exactly as like everything was starting to he was going to take off. Yeah, it's going to be duel to the death between him and Khan.
I think that I don't know if it's gonna be duel to the death. I see a sacrifice, something like this, because we still have to figure out why Khan stayed on SETI Alpha 5. Because very clearly at the end of the episode, he's going, right? So I think that I hope it's gonna be a little bit more complex than just like two dudes like measuring dicks and like one killing the other one. I think it gonna have to do something with the ship. Maybe he's gonna try to sabotage the ship. He's gonna die in the caverns or something.
Oh, that would be a good way to go too.
Yeah. Yeah. I honestly don't know. Also, I'm here for a survivor. I was saying I was watching the Mummy yesterday again, and I'm like, I want Benny to survive. Is he a dick? Should he pay? Yes, but also he should survive for like the story of it,
But then you don't. But then you don't get the "Bye, Benny" line, which like I love so
Goodbye,
much.
Benny.
Goodbye, Benny.
Yeah, but like the fun is that he's always back, and I feel like if Tuvok is doing like another sweep, or maybe we still don't know where Lear went to the. Maybe it's still somewhere there.
Oh my God, Ivan's just living on SETI Alpha 5 still. Imagine.
That would be fun, though. That's not what they're gonna do. But you need to take care of your own garden. But yeah, we'll see. We knew he was not gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Called that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, our order for tonight is Julian, Hawk, and then me. And we're gonna start. We're gonna jump right in, like this episode, which jumps right in with a log from Dr. Lear. And we learned that we've moved forward 5 years. 5 years of the augment and the Elborean building this how can I say that? Not easy alliance. It's still holding, right? We learned that 8 augments have died from food shortage, but their ship, the Venture, is almost complete. Symbol of faith, desperation, collaboration. Kali has been raised by Mado. Far from Seti's hardship, we see a loving Father Khan. And Kali is a very bright, a little bit freakishly bright 5-year-old, I would say.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Very,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
look who her daddy is, though. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we know that Tuvok still is also continuing to analyze the logs because we hear him listening to the 16 final log entries of the Marla tape. What do you think of this time jump? Was that in the book for you? A time jump of 5 years right before the finale, Julian?
So I thought that there would be a time jump, but I like the time jump. I'm not mad at it by any means. I'm a little bit disappointed that we didn't get to see the calamity happen. That like we didn't get to see SETI Alpha 5 get ravaged, because that's a big deal. How did Khan and his people and the Elboreans, get into the caves? Did anybody like not make it to the caves? This is an extinction level event, and they were just like Battlestar Galactica 5 years later, and it's fine. And I like where it picks up. I just would have liked to see the ravaging.
Yeah, we know that the Elboreans, like the half of the pendant that was sent away, could not be in the cave.
Yeah.
They all died apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hawk, what do you think?
I mean, the time jump, I wasn't expecting it. I guess with this episode being the penultimate, and that we had to make some sort of leap. It's another red herring, because we had this theory last week, and that that we kind of we're trying to confirm that Lear is possibly Kaylee, and that so like this child being now 5 absolutely was raised and remembers Khan and everything, and has very strong memories, so that just kind of deepens the mystery there.
Oh
right?
yeah, that kind of knocks it up.
Telepaths.
Elboreans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
knew Del Mondo, was friends with Del Mondo. The time jump absolutely is cool, but it raises a lot of questions about the present and what's happening with the characters that we do know about. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Especially considering one of the things we noted in the last episode was that it's like food was definitely a problem going forward in that, because they wouldn't have access to any sort of sea creatures, land creatures, life. Vegetation was going to be hard to cultivate there.
Eels.
Eels.
The eels.
Eat them.
Yeah, exactly.
Sushi time.
Yeah, I know. Fugu me, baby. So to be able to see that they did make it 5 years, but they are on the brink of collapse, and that starvation and famine is coming. Is already there.
I was surprised that they jumped 5 years. 5 years seems like a long time to build a ship, a small ship. I don't know. Like the 5 years seemed too long from the ship, but also good for the kid, because we needed the kid to be old enough to become a character. So I don't know what to think about this time jump. It's a little bit weird for me in the chronology of all things. Because yes, we agree Kali is Lear, but it does raise the question now. Does she know that she is Kali? And I'm not entirely certain now. What do you think, Julian? I see you.
No, I don't. I mean, especially after this episode, I don't think that she knows because, like, you know, she's like so quick to like try and, you know, blame everything on Kirk, right? And then now it's like she when we're gonna talk about this, but like, you know, able to admit that. I think that like I don't know. I feel like she'd still have some kind of like resentment to Kirk if like she knew who her dad was. So I'm thinking maybe not.
I'm confused too because especially at the beginning of like these log when Sulu, Captain Sulu tells her that they're gonna depart, you hear the desperation in
Yeah.
her voice. I failed, I've not finished, I failed. And I'm like, failed what? So like what is going on? I have so many questions when it comes to Lear and what she knows, what she's doing, what she's here. And I feel this episode with the beginning and the end, right? Lear always open and finishes the episode, like raises more questions for me than I had before. Huck, what do you think? You think she knows or you think she doesn't know?
It's something about that, you know, when she tried to, you know, control herself when she was having her freak out about, you know, not having enough time left, and she says, "Just keep going," and that. And I'm wondering if that line's going to come back next week. You know, it sounds like something a survivor of, say, an apocalyptic planet might use as a mantra.
True. Well, speaking of a survivor, um, the rescue mission is well underway. We actually, during this episode, we are like a few hours before everybody leaves the caverns and the ship is ready to launch. The ship, the Venture, has been built in the underwater cave, not underwater cave, uh, in the caves.
The
Yeah,
caves.
the caves with the big water.
The
The water's-
cave.
The caves with the big water, and it is kind of a desperate mission because that will destroy their only protection against the harsh weather of SETI Alpha 5. We learned that Paolo, Kimura, Joachim, and Delmonda were the chosen final five for this mission to find help. The moment feels very important. There is this big speech, right? Delmonda and Khan, the benevolent leader that have apparently become friends this last 5 years. A rare instance where we see all of them together. The launch should have been a testament of cooperation, of work, of faith, of, uh, friendship between aliens and human. But for sure, Khan comes out from the left field and betrays Amanda
Oof.
in front of everybody, announcing that he was going to be on the ship with his daughter Carly, leaving Paolo behind. What did you think of this like sudden shift? Was it a sudden shift?
No.
Did you see that coming?
Yeah.
Julian?
Oh, from a mile away. He said it in an episode or two ago. He was like, "Don't like," because when he's interrogating Ivan, he's like,
Ivan.
yeah, don't worry. When the time is right, I will let them know who's still in charge." And he totally fulfills his promise. One of the great things about Khan so far in the series is that like every now and then you forget that Khan is a complete piece of shit and a master manipulator. This is what he did. This is why he was almost ruled Earth, right? He waits until the perfect opportunity to strike, and he's really good at biding his time. And then it's like right before this happens, he's being all cute with his kid, and he's like, "Oh, it's tickle time," and I'm like, "You son of a bitch, I know what you're about to do." And I knew it was gonna happen. It didn't make it any less heart-wrenching, right? It's still so good, but then it reminds you that yes, Khan is a villain, and you shouldn't forget that.
I mean, it's psychopathic to do that
Yeah.
for 5 years.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
And to hide it from a telepath.
Yeah.
Well, telepath with boundaries, and that's the
true.
thing. That's what he's exploiting, right? Hawk, what did you think of that sudden, like, stab in the back?
Like it's crazy. I mean, yeah, it was kind of obvious that with his conversation with Ivan in the last episode, and this was even before Marla. He learned that Marla had, been, taken down by an eel, right? With this, that he basically folded in, like, Marla's advice about cooperation and, like, what it's like to make first contact, and folded it into a strategy in that one, especially after he learned that, that they could make an escape ship. He adopted, cooperation and that as a strategy that he knew that, eventually he was going to turn on them. It's, it's shocking, not shocking. It's Khan, he's just thinking 4 steps ahead of everybody else, but for 5 years, and to hide it from them and to develop a friendship with them, and that involved like Delmada becoming friends with his daughter,
with his kid.
That's
yes!
the worst part.
who
Yeah.
he isolates with Maddo and that, away from the harsh realities and that, but still, it's like Delmada, allowed him to become friends with her. It's betrayal, like, on a Shakespearean level, little I know about Shakespeare, and that, yes, this is Shakespearean.
It's interesting to me because I won't say I saw that coming. I knew something was coming, but I believe that Marla did made a change. I think I really wanted Marla and Kali to have had a thing, like I don't know, an influence on him. The thing that fascinates me is that the ship was supposed to be 2 Elboreans and 2 augments, right? And it ends up being 3 augments and 1 Elborean.
Yeah, the one who designed it.
Yeah, because it is weird to me that it kicks out Paolo and not Kimura. Like, for me, that was like the thing that was like, this is interesting, because he doesn't want Delmonda, and he still wants like 1 Elborean to be like, not risking mutiny or something. But it is a very interesting shift for me. I understand wanting to save Kali, but also this is signaling to everybody that he's not gonna come back.
Oh, 100%.
100.
Which,
but they still chant Khan, at the end.
yeah, at one point they're like feebly like clapping, is like, save your strength.
Yes.
And then they're like, Khan. It's really interesting to me that he manages to avoid people's being mad by still keeping 1 Elborean, but somehow nobody sees that Kali being on the ship with him means they're never coming back, and everybody's going to be left to die.
They're all starving, right? Like they're all starving. They're all probably like, their minds are not right after 5 years of living in this caves. I'm sure that, like, in their subconscious, they probably know exactly what's about to happen, but they've been loyal to him for so long that it's like, yeah, Khan.
I feel Ursula definitely knows.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like her talk with Ivan in the last episode, and that, about how she thought, like, him trying to take over the Enterprise was just him, like, acting irrationally and on a whim, and that, and how she disagreed with it, but something she'd never say to his face, and nobody would disagree with him in that. And that he's spending the last of that currency in that to get himself on that ship with his daughter.
Yeah, and I mean, not only Ursula, but also Mado. I mean, I don't know. It's an interesting move to me. I think it is a stupid move. It's a stupid move, but it's an interesting move. We know he's not going to take the ship also.
Well, right.
De facto.
Right.
So, Ivan, most probably. Speaking of more vitriol, Delmonda has a one-on-one with Khan, and Khan reveals that he's still consumed by mistrust and resentment from the battle that they had, and the fact that he lost the battle 5 years ago. Like, it's toddler's level of mistrust. Khan's mindset has not changed since Marla's death. He's still ruminating on old defeats and is incapable of imagination, which has been the theme of this last episode. Delmonda, in a last act of power, breaches Khan's mental walls, showing him the truth, and that the Elboreans' warp system, I suppose that's what it is, yeah, caused the destruction of Ceti Alpha 6. We knew it. I knew it.
Knew it. Yeah.
I knew it.
Knew it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Khan's rage boils over. He attacks Delmonda, but Kali, who grew up amongst the Elboreans, intervenes, saves Delmonda, and kind of confronts her father hypocrisy on this. It was an interesting move for me. There is an echo in that moment with Delmonda saying, "I have been and always shall be your friend." A bittersweet Easter egg. Tying these moments to Spock's death. What did you think of the revelation of the Elboreans causing the destruction of Ceti Alpha 6? It clears Kirk. It makes Lear like vendetta. I don't know, like research actually non-existent. It gives right to Khan about not trusting the Elborean. Did you see this coming? Do you see this coming this way?
Yeah, I knew it was the Elboreans. You know, one of the things with this podcast is as good as it is, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it, is that it does telegraph. It's like it shows its tells a lot, and it's not a bad thing, right? But I think even just watching, if you watch Space Heat and then you watch Wrath of Khan, like Kirk is genuinely shocked to see Khan again, and shocked just about the entire situation. I really never thought it would be that Kirk somehow knew Ceti Alpha 6 was unstable for even a moment. Like Kirk is a lot of things, but he's not going to abandon people on a, he's not Archer, right? Like he's not going to abandon people. Sorry, Cassie, if you're listening, because I know you're going to try and listen. And not going to abandon people on a planet if he knows that another planet's going to explode and like cause them basically all to die. So yeah, I think it was pretty telling, like that it was the Elboreans. There's no other reason also for them to kind of like randomly crash land on this planet, right? They kind of like telegraphed it from the beginning of the series. So it wasn't a twist for me, unfortunately. And it wasn't really a twist for me that then Khan attacked him, because that's exactly what Khan would do. He attacks his enemies. He wants revenge immediately. That's why he does have this revelation. He talks like, I am a vengeful person. He's vengeful for being sent out into space after, losing the eugenics wars. He's
thing that he has hidden from the Elboreans.
Yeah. He's spiteful that Kirk put him on this planet and he lost trying to steal the Enterprise. Khan doesn't lose well. And this is not shocking. I love Kali intervening. And as much as I was saying earlier that Khan is not a great person, I think that, like, I think you said, Girafe, I think that Marla and Kali now, after these 5 years, has changed something in him. I don't think it's enough, though.
Hawk?
Yeah, I mean, Occam's razor, right? The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, right? It was telegraphed to us a long time ago in that, that the explosion of Ceti Alpha 6 and the arrival of the Boreans were exactly, the same at the same time in that. So it wasn't hard to, imagine that they were responsible. We just didn't know at the time. And I love this little bit, like because like basically what they're talking about is a curvature propulsion engine in that. I finished off Shisha and Lu's Death's End, the third book in the three body problem trilogy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
And he talks, and they talk about curvature propulsion systems in that. In fact, they emphasize that when they're tracking the path of ships that do use it and that, they notice that they turn off their engines and that when they're entering into solar systems and M-class structures and that, because they know that the propulsion and that will actually cause like all the damage that they are talking about, subatomic particles smashing against each other and that dispersal. It's nice to counter impose that against the war.
I love how you have brought other series to that show every single episode. Last week it was The Sopranos.
Yeah.
Before that it was The Boys, and now it's the Everybody Problem. I've not read the book, but I've watched the show.
Oh, is it Pepe Sylvia?
Pepe Sylvia. Everything is connected. Sorry, I interrupted you, but that cracked me up.
That's
Uh,
okay. But this was a great conversation. It was a great way for it to be revealed to us, and then confirmed, and it kind of explains like the Elboreans and that they're not just the nicest, species in the galaxy, and that they're basically working off what they think is a debt, that they did this, and it's like this is all they can offer is like, their undying servitude to them.
and we also don't know why they were kicked out of their planet.
Right.
Driven off, as they said.
Yeah, because he compares his people to the augment being kicked out from the planet. And he also said that it was because his planet wouldn't let them live like they wanted to live. And you can take that any way you want. Like, what is the situation with the Pendem? Like, is it like a Borg situation? Like, are some of them like not willingly there? Like, we actually don't know what's going on with the Elboreans as a species. But listen, I like that there's a reason for everything, but also sometimes shit happens. And that's a good ground for tragedy. And that City of Fossig just randomly exploded. Sure, it's not something that could happen easily, but I thought it could have been such a coup to like Khan, because for him, everything that goes bad for him is the fault of somebody else.
Mm.
And when a whole planet explodes and it's just a random freak event and he can't do anything about it, I feel there's like something like, hey, the universe actually is telling you to fuck off.
I agree with you. Yeah.
And so now the Elborean are responsible. So yet again, this is somebody that is against me and somebody that wants me to fail my world, my empire, my people, And I mean, it makes sense, but also I would have loved it to be just, dude, shit happens.
Yeah.
And too bad for you. You're in the middle of it. And the Elboreans could have crashed just because the planet exploded and knocked their ship out.
Yep.
I feel I'm going out to be on tangent, but I feel one of the problem with a lot of like science reception is that people always want a reason for things to be, and sometimes things have no good goddamn reason to be. Like the Big Bang don't have a reason to exist. Like it just happened. And I like a little bit of chaos theory in my stories, things just happen. But that's not the case here. And I liked that Kali was able to, have some empathy. And she definitely has the imagination that her dad is lacking.
Yeah.
Also, I love the fact that Delmonda quotes Marla by telling Khan that he has a lack of imagination. I was like, oh man, you're playing.
Oh.
You're gonna get stabbed. Yeah, I thought this, as much as I found it very interesting, I was like, this whole episode is a lot of explanations.
Yeah.
A lot of like, this is why the thing happened. This is why they do that. This is why they hate him. See, he was right of hating him. It also gives Khan some like kind of like I don't know, he's right to not
justification.
And I'm like, yeah, justification. Yeah. And I'm like, this guy doesn't need more justification in his life.
Yeah, and I agree with you about like it just kind of like working better as it just being a natural thing that happened, right? Because like I think like some of the most interesting parts and like scenes of this podcast early on were Khan against SETI Alpha 5, not against Elboreans, not against his own people, just the nature that is SETI Alpha 5. Like that was
versus nature.
Yeah, that was compelling as hell. And then it just kind of became, and again, not complaining because I really enjoy it, but like it became just another, okay, these are the bad guys, not really, but like this is the adversary, this is the explanation. But like Khan against SETI Alpha 5 was a much more compelling story, in my opinion.
And I feel that we're also seeing a little bit of like the audience from Lost, you know, people that were mad that there was no explanation and no reason and no bad guy. And I'm like, sometimes things are just thing. And the important thing in the story is the relationship, is how people react to the freak event.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of a sucker for those kind of narratives. That's why I really liked Lost, and I really like the end of Lost, where a lot of people hated it.
I was
Because
so fucking angry.
I like the fact that sometimes the stories are bold enough to say there's no good goddamn reason. There's
Yeah.
no actual reason for what you've been going through. You're not entitled to anything. You're not owned anything. You're not part of a plan. You are not part of a plan. You just happen to be here. And in the end, the most important thing is how you react to what is happening and the relationship you built around this horrible tragedy. And I kind of like, I'm very accepting of like, life happens. You know, I'm not part of a plan. Nobody's taking care of me. Like, there is no God watching over me. I don't have any reasons to exist. I'm just here. And it's what I do around this. I'm not looking for an enemy. I'm not looking for an excuse. I'm not looking for a reason. And I like that. I know most people don't. Most people want a villain, want a reason, want, you know, a plan. Like, there is a greater plan. Like, we're lying, you know, we're being lied to. But I don't know. I was a bit disappointed in this, but it's me being a weirdo.
I don't think you're weird. I think I kind of feel the same way.
Let's talk about all the other augments. Where is everybody and what they're doing? There's a lot of grief, anger, fear, puzzlement, if it's a word, amongst the augment. First of all, we finally see Ursula. Ursula has been given the leadership now that Khan is leaving, which is an interesting choice, right? We see her going through more or less belonging. There is an unfinished vengeance with Ursula, but she's now assuming the role of the leader. What do you think of Ursula now being in charge of things when we know that she has her questions about Khan?
Ah, man, I guess like the question is like, who else was Khan gonna leave in charge? You know, you know what I mean? It's there's not a lot of options. People are starving. Like, as much as like there is that issue, like she's probably the strongest of the bunch to like keep them alive, even if he isn't going to come back. If they're let's do the scenario where Khan really does plan to come back, right? Ursula being in charge probably does give them the best chance of survival. And even with us, I think, all knowing that Khan has no intention of coming back, still gives them that best chance of survival. So I think it works. You know what I mean? Like, does that make sense?
Do you think he knows that she has problem with him and questions him?
I think that I think that Khan knows that a lot of people have issues with him, but I don't think that Khan is naive, but I don't think he's naive to the point where he knows that his people don't have issues with him. Like, he just knows that they know better to say it to him, as we were talking about earlier. So yeah, no, like I think that he knows, but I also think that any leader has like the people around him who have those feelings towards them. So I don't think it's like a shock to him, and I don't think it's a shock enough for him to even bring it up to Ursula. But like, I don't see it being a problem that she's in charge just because she does have these issues with him.
What did you think of Ursula stepping into leadership, Hawk?
I mean, like, she is a logical choice if he's going to be leaving in that, because like she was kind of like his, she was the lieutenant right beside Ivan, only.
Yeah, she's one of the original ones, right?
OG.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, she's one of the OG ones, and a warrior and a survivor in that. But also smarter than Ivan in that, because she did. I don't think
that
she
doesn't
really,
take a lot though.
I know.
The Ivan hate.
Basically not blaring her intentions and her true feelings about Khan and that, to him. She's hidden that, and also, I really felt for her character in that. It's like in this episode, she really lost her relationship with Maddo in that, and Kali in that, and so she just basically like, I think she's embraced nihilism more than anything else. She knows that basically like this world is eventually going to kill her and everybody in some fashion or another, be it famine or the ecological disaster that has befallen them. And it was just felt sad. I really felt for her. And the fact that she's just going along with it and taking along over the leadership and the plan, in regards to what's going to happen with the food and that going forward, she's just seemed resigned, to it. That this, she's more of a puppet than anything else. I think she feels like it.
I was kind of puzzled by Ursula here because there's a lot of things in this episode that I don't know what to think about. Like let's speak about the separation between Mado and Ursula. I was like, it didn't feel, I don't know, it felt a little bit weird to me. It just felt like I don't really get why they got separated. Like it is like, oh, like lesbian couple must be like, unhappy in love. Like I don't understand what this separation adds to the story, especially because then it is about, oh, Mado was given the care of Kali and Ursula resented that Mado was taking care of a child that was not their child, the one that Mado lost. I was like, it's a bit.
No, it doesn't make any sense. There's no.
From not having any children in that, but from what I've heard is that it's like any couple really that suffers the loss of a child, it tends not to remain together in that because basically it's just a reminder of what they lost. It happens.
But there are like 70 of them on a planet that is dying, and I mean, I know Mado lost the child. I mean, not by her own fault, like it was an accident, right?
Yeah.
But I felt that the reason and it came a little bit like weird. Like for me, it was a little bit like, oh, Seven and Raffi, oh, they've broken up.
Right, it just comes out of left field. Yeah.
And it just like kind of like, oh, we're adding an extra drama. Also, kind of the end of the episode, they're like back in the talking, like. I just like, I don't understand what it adds to the story. Maybe it's gonna add something to the story later, but I don't feel Ursula has changed in those 5 years. She still harbors the same problem with Khan. She's still like a badass and she still has her head on her shoulder, and that's why she's gonna be the leader. I feel Mado didn't change as much. She get to be a mother, like a foster mother, but to still like raise that kid, which makes her happy. I'm just like, I don't get what it adds to the story. Just a little bit of like, gays can be happy. I was like, I'm like, that's just so much a trend in Star Trek that I'm just like, hey, you could have not done that. I don't think
like
it would have
every
changed the story.
series, yeah.
I don't think, like, sometimes I'm like, oh, I understand it adds tension and it moves the plot forward. Like, for example, in Picard, a little bit. I can see why, like this much, like very little. But here, because Mado right away turns to Ursula and right away tells her what's going on with Kali. So they do talk. So I don't know. Anyway, sorry, sidebar.
It's a good sidebar.
We learned that Paolo has been in a relationship with an Elborean, Kimura. And we learn also that the Pandem that had be left outside of the camp has died. Everybody died. Paolo is really, really anxious, fearful, angry, has a lot of emotion about being kicked out of the ship, and also about when he learns that the Khan's plan is to let every single Elborean die. And Paolo, since the beginning, has been the voice of reason, the voice of like a new generation, right? The scientist and the one that went towards the Elborean right away. What did you think of like Paolo being kicked out? Do you think Khan kicked him out and not Joachim? because of his relationship with the Elborean?
I think that's certainly part of it, right? Like it can't not be, but
A little bit of like augment supremacy.
No, it's
a little
100%
bit of, eugenics.
Okay,
Eugenics?
listen, if Khan 100% was certain that that entire ship could be run on by augments, it would be an all augment ship, and the Elboreans would already all be dead. So,
but Powell can run the ship.
He can run the ship, but I still feel like there has to be an Elborean on board. Otherwise, like story wise, otherwise it doesn't make sense. Because in my opinion, like they'd just all be dead already, right? Like someone has to be Elborean on that ship in order to make it work. So yeah, I think like the relationship is a big part of it. But like again, Khan's a psycho. Like who knows what's going on inside his head? Like the decision, honestly, at this point in time, after even Khan like living in a cave and being the superior intellect, it could still just not be irrational. It's like, I'm going to bring politics into it. It's like Trump putting out all these bullshit true socials and like random just spewing of bullshit at this point. It could just make no sense, but he did it because he thinks it's the best decision. Is it because he is in a relationship with Elborean? More than likely. But again, I think it's more like Khan is just making snap decisions on the fly to do what he thinks is going to give them the best success of surviving this, I guess, ship flight, cave burning.
Shuttle 1. Let's talk Enterprise a little bit.
Yeah, right.
Like, what do you think? What do you think of Paolo?
I mean, obviously somebody had to go in that because, Khan is taking the seat, and his daughter is coming along with him. I feel like, it didn't help that that he is dating an Elborean, but I don't think it's the sole reason behind it. Although there was always Joachim if he, really had to, get rid of somebody else and that, because really what is Joachim doing? He's commanding. I don't know.
Well, Joachim,
but he loves Joachim. Like he
does, like a son.
And Joachim also is like devoted to him.
Yes,
yeah.
But it's funny because Joachim wants to stay because he has a relationship, right? I don't remember her name right now, but like he doesn't want to leave. Erica, yeah. He doesn't want to leave, and especially he's gonna want to bring back help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he would.
If you have Joachim and Kimura, the only reason one would go back would be for the other. So I'm like, I know there's like some math going on. I feel also that Joachim will always vote for Khan. So if there's a decision to be made in the ship, Joachim will go for Khan. And Kali, I don't know now. You should like wonder about this a little bit because I feel like Kali is like.
I think at the end of the day, Kali is still Khan's daughter and would not side against him.
I think Kali is more or less daughter.
Well, 100%. But like in that instance, if something did happen on the ship, I can't see her mutiny, and she's like 5, right? Like,
yeah, but she's like as smart as a 15-year-old.
No,
like,
true.
Big, like dang. So Ivan is back.
That motherfucker.
Julian, I want to know, what was your reaction when you heard like him? I cannot do a
Hello
Russian
there.
Hello, Ursula.
Hello, Ursula. Did you miss me? Where's my vodka?
I thought of you right away. I was like, I know why he wants to come to that episode. It's for the Ivan hate.
If there hasn't been, whether it's on television or podcast form, or a more predictable episode of Star Trek so far,
it was very.
This would be it. We knew Ivan was coming back. He's a cockroach. He is the definition of a cockroach. That man survives at all costs. He survived swinging and missing at Khan somehow, mainly because of Delmonda. But like, he survived that. He survived a planet falling on Ceti Alpha 5 somehow. The dude is resourceful. What's going to happen next? That I actually don't know. I can't wait to see it. But man, it's so refreshing having a character that you love to hate. And it's so fun hating Ivan. But But yeah, hearing his voice is like, oh, this fucking guy. It's so good.
Not fucking guy.
He is one of the more recent, like, better Star Trek villains. I'm enjoying Ivan quite a bit.
Yeah. Hawk, what do you think? We
Oh,
knew he was
yeah.
gonna be back.
Yeah, we all knew he was coming back, you know. Plus, like, he sets the template in that. I mean, that, you know, the augments, you know, themselves can survive this place, and that, you know, we know this, you know, because Khan survives after him. We assume. I don't know what's going to happen with Ivan in the next episode. But you know, it makes sense, you know, because, like, you know, he's the one who is the most devoid of, like, you know, those aspects of Starfleet that we love, like, you know, the humanity and empathy and that. No, this is like, you know, originally this world was like built for, you know, Ivan. You know, he was a hunter. He just loved to, you know, he loved the whole thing, the whole thrill of the hunt, the kill, everything. So yeah, sending him out for 5 years into the just made him, like, you know, kind of the perfect.
He's mad.
He's a
now.
Russian. He's a mad Russian. Of course he survived on SETI Alpha 5.
Exactly.
I want to add that Kanging's in the chat and saying that Joachim is in the Wrath of Khan, so he doesn't leave on the ship.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's true.
So my prediction right now, I'm gonna put that out, is that Ursula, Mado, Kali, and Delmonda are gonna be the people on the ship. And
They're gonna,
I
like,
think
mutiny.
I think it's gonna be Ivan doing. He wants to fuck over Khan. He wants to keep him on SETI Alpha 5. So we know that. I know Hogg thinks it's not true, but we know that Delmonda is the one that handed to the tape to Dr. Lear. That's what she says. Maybe it's not true, but
Everything, and I know we're going to talk about, but, like, everything that goes on in Excelsior, like, confuses the hell out of me. Like, I just don't know where that's going.
I think the main question is, well, what we're gonna talk about actually now is Lear and her legacy or heritage, right? It's like, what is this woman doing, and where is this woman coming from, right? We see her wrestle with, like, her own biases from, like, the very self-assured doctor and, like, historian that we had in the first episode that was, like, telling into Starfleet, raising the interesting question. And as much as I know that Kirk didn't do it on purpose, mistake happen, freak stuff happen, and sometime maybe you didn't know, and maybe, you know, it just happened and you had no clue it was gonna happen. But we see her struggle more and more through these last 8 episodes. We see the mask crack, we see the anxiety, we see the fear, we see, like, the pep talk that she has with herself. We see really the character of Dr. Rosalind Lear crack more and more into, who is this woman? She removes her petition against Kirk and now questions even our own motives. We and her and she are questioning everything. She confirms that Spock's Spock's sensor reading were accurate and officially clears Kirk. While she's struggling with all this, we see Tuvok grab the opportunity to ask for a level 9 planetary sweep to see if they can locate the Elborean technology, the metal, or, like, the material that is, like, protecting their kind of warp core. I mean, what did you call that? As a
Curvature propulsion.
Curvature propulsion. And Lear escapes from the Excelsior to go to SETI Alpha 5. That is a very confusing ending. I have so many questions. First of all, what do you make of Lear escaping, Lear questioning herself, Lear, like, just taking back all her petition and all the work she's done? Like, what happened, in your opinion, Julian?
She got what is Starfleeted from Strange New Worlds. Like, she did. She had literally, like, she had Starfleet working against her the entire time, which, you know, whether the things that, like, she was studying wound out to be wrong, like, you know, she was able to clear Kirk, like, that is a fact. It was still, like, fucking Starfleet was spying on her the entire time. Sulu was spying on her because James T. Kirk can do no wrong and Starfleet can do no wrong. So like you had that, you had Tuvok telling her she's a liar. You had like these two very powerful people, one a pain in the ass Vulcan, the other a Starfleet captain who served with Jim Kirk, telling her that she's wrong the whole time. Of course this was going to happen. I don't know what she's looking for on SETI Alpha 5. It's very confusing. Like you just
Ivan.
I guess dude, it's gonna be like Old Man Logan Ivan on that planet, right? It's gonna be really interesting.
If one guy has tamed the SETI eels and like it's
he just
Ivan.
got him on leashes when she gets them.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
welcome
He
to my
rides them
planet.
like childhood.
Yeah. You want eel? I ride them, I cook them, I drink them very good.
Big vodka.
Vodka.
I don't know. This whole thing's been confusing, but I do think like part of her just like kind of like, you know, fall from grace is because she got the, you know, Starfleet good, we do no wrong treatment from this crew.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like, you know, if we're operating under the theory that she is who we think she is.
Well, that too, yeah.
You know, she was trying to make connection in that to her past, to her parentage, to everything in that, and like an important connection to that, you know, is like, you know, Jim Kirk, and you know, if she is, you know, her father's daughter in that, you know, we saw like, you know, Khan always needed an enemy, right? You know, having an enemy defeats having to accept that things happen to you in life that, you know, are sometimes beyond your control. You know, he always needed someone to blame. Well, Rosalind just confirmed that, you know, Jim Kirk is not to blame for this, that, you know, and has just lost that connection. You know, it's like, you know, I can't blame him for what happened to, my father.
Theoretically her father, yeah.
Theoretically her father, and that what, you know, it's like, where am I going? What is my purpose now? And you know, what am I here to find? She's looking for connection.
Yeah, you know? With her new papa, Ivan.
Yeah.
Papa.
I think it's like I'm very confused on what's going on. Because if she's 5 and like 15 in her head, right?
Mm-hmm.
She remembers all that. Right?
Yeah.
The only thing that she may not know is that the Elborean caused SETI Alpha 6 to explode. What she learns listening to the tape, right? But then that means that if she actually escaped with Delmonda, then Delmonda didn't tell her or lied to her, or so there's a whole question about this. But then why go to SETI Alpha 5? Like, what is there to gain for her to go there? You know, except the fact that there is something there that she needs or she wants, and then it all makes sense that she wants the tapes, that she wants to go, but I think she didn't compute it into the whole thing that Tuvok was going to be a pain in her ass. And listen to everything and like question and know that she was lying. The other possibility is that she doesn't remember.
Mm-hmm.
And that the Elborean actually like wiped her mind, or, you know, implanted another story-ish, like something that's a bit lighter of like how she got out. Did she get out with Mado and Ursula, who just raised her into a like slowly forgetting all this, or like having another vision of what happened? Like there's a lot of things that I feel that we need to know what happens between Kali escaping SETI Alpha 5 and, you know, and Rosalind Lear, which we know is Kali because of the Shakespeare thing now.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way that it's not Kali. Like, who else could it be?
Also, if I can raise one more point, and that is that Rosalind, what she grew up knowing of Khan was, you know, that of the 5-year-old, and we can see that Khan hid a lot of who he was from her, and that she brought out a side of him that, you know, nobody else could, right? You know, and he took great pains to hide like the other side of him from her. Not like she caught him trying to murder Delmondo and that, and it's like, you know, he put all that aside for her, and that, you know, said like, will even leave on friends, but he hid his kind of psychotic murderous side from her for all these years. And I think her listening to these tapes and finding out more and more and more, and then finally the revelation that she, that we've all experienced now, that Khan was always going to betray Del Mondo and the Elboreans. This is new news to her as well, right? So the unraveling that we're seeing of Rosalind is maybe like, it's like my papa wasn't the hero I thought he was.
I don't know. Honestly, again, like we don't know how she ends up on the ship, like what happened, but it's gonna be violent.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing we know, is that there's gonna be blood for Khan to not be on the ship. Like, shit is gonna go down.
Yeah.
And I think it involves like getting some SETI ills into your ears.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because like where is the Chekhov's gun? Like
Yes.
like where are the eels? Like they just show up when like we want to get rid of somebody? Like I want to know. Let's talk a little bit about Tuvok. Do you think Tuvok is really looking for the Elborean technology? What is he looking for? I don't think he's looking. I think he's lying here a little bit by omission, not giving the whole truth. But that level sweep, like level 9 sweep of the planet, is it to see if the ship really left?
Let me tell you about Tuvok. Tuvok, I have no idea what the hell he's looking for, but I know for a fact. I mean, I don't know for a fact. I could be dead wrong. But I think I know for a fact that he knows something that Lear doesn't know and knows something that Sulu doesn't know, because to run a level 9 sweep and not even tell like Sulu what he's looking for, dude knows something. He has taken everything. He's used that brain of his, which we know has gotten through Voyager through a lot of things, and he's come up with a hypothesis and knows something that's either down there or that he is almost damn near positive is down there. But
the sweep is negative.
Is it?
It is.
But is it?
They say it in the podcast.
I know.
Oh, you think somebody lied? Oh, do you think Tuvok lied?
I think Tuvok is lying. I agree. Tuvok is lying. Tuvok knows something. What that is, I don't know. Whether, again, it's Ivan, whether it's, like you're saying, the ship not leaving, but he has made his own hypothesis, and he's going to find something on that planet. So,
I mean, Lear is going first.
Yeah, I know.
So he knows what Lear... That's why he's going after Lear, because he knows what she's after?
No, I don't know. I think Tuvok is after something else, like that has nothing to do with Lear. I really do. I think, like... Tuvok's role in this whole these past 8 episodes has been like so strange to me, but like the minute he was like run a level 9 sweep, I'm like, you know something, man. You know something, and you're not telling anybody.
I also like, sorry, Hawk, but I also like how he's like, oh yeah, the curvature like pulsate like thing, and he's just like dropped that information, and Sulu right away is like, if there is another ship that went on the planet, I want to know right now. And he still doesn't answer when he knows.
Tuvok's being shady.
And I'm like, what is going on, Hawk? What is your hypothesis here?
He's probably theorized, from the beginning, after all this, that, she is Kaylee and that. And I think he just confirmed a big part of that suspicion and that, asking for that sensor sweep and that to confirm that there's no wreckage, that ship actually managed to get off that planet. It's a very comprehensive scan, and that it would show any wreckage, any debris in that. That means if there was none, that ship got off that planet.
But we know the ship got off, right?
Yeah, we do, because she's there. Yeah.
But I think so.
I think he is basically trying to confirm his theory that she is Khan's daughter.
Yeah, I think he's trying to confirm that the ship actually left the planet, and that's why there is no way to find any debris of it. So if there's no ship, that means that the ship left, and that means that Rosalind Lear is Kali. If the ship never leaves, then they're all on the planet and something else happened. But I'm just wondering then why... I think he knows what Lear is going to do on SETI Alpha.
Yeah.
But also, why not just tell Sulu? That's why I think it's something else. Like, why not just be like, Captain?
Because I think he knows that Sulu has biases towards Khan and
Yes.
towards Augment, and he doesn't want to fuck over Rosalind Lear.
That's fair.
I think he feels for her. I think he feels for what she said as Vulcans.
As much as they can.
What she said about augments being treated differently in Starfleet and all this. I think that he doesn't want to throw her under the bus until he's 1000% certain
Fair.
of what happened.
Yeah.
Also, I would say that I really think she escaped with Maddo because I think that would explain the Shakespearean name. Because Maddo is the only one that let her read Shakespeare. So I do think that I don't want Maddo to die.
No.
Give me that. Okay, I think that's it. Do you have any last word before the venture escapes City Alpha 5, Hawk?
Sorry, what are we?
Last words, last thoughts, last
like I said,
goodbyes.
It's like, there was a lot of information with this episode, and it was still good. It's just one of those episodes where it just kind of moves all the pieces into place for the finale. So but still, very important part, and confirms a lot of what we'd already suspected.
Yeah.
Julian, what did you think of this episode?
Yeah, it was a yes and episode. It's like yes and yes and yes and we know all this. Like it was entertaining. Like the cast has been great. Like it's good. It's just this is one of those situations now though. It's like I really hope the finale is like an hour or so and longer because there's so many loose ends to like wrap up. Yeah. It was good.
Yeah, I think it was a good episode, but definitely one of those moving plot forward episode so we can close that chapter and enter in another one. But I think they do it well. I think it's not clunky. I think if you listen to the 40 minutes quite easily, there was no moment where I was like, oh, come on, I know what you're doing. Like, I mean, maybe at the beginning when she was like recapping the 5 years, I was like, okay, move along. But the rest, I felt like the confrontation with Dalmonda and all this just confirmed everything. I'm just a bit disappointed that it was indeed telegraphed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I'm with you.
It always was like what I supposed was going to happen. I like being surprised. I do. Same. It was still good. It was still a good episode. Okay, it is time for the mailbag.
Hailing frequencies open.
My girl. Let's go. Julian, can you take Casey?
Yeah, Cassie wrote, the writing in this series is so rich. There's so much I could touch on. For the sake of whoever gets drafted to read this, I'll just say it's interesting that Khan has an unchangeable belief that those with power will subjugate those without, no matter how much evidence he gets to the contrary. And his reason to upload his belief is he thinks that it's what he would do. Except we all know when he was faced with a person without power, he fell in love with them and raised them above all others by marrying them.
I love that.
It's a great mailbag.
I know.
Yeah.
It's a great mailbag. Yeah. Hot. Can you take NY Relight?
Yeah, NY Relight wrote, we all knew this was going to end in tragedy, but it's going to be heartbreaking if Kali dies in whatever mess Ivan has planned. Girafe called it about the Elboreans being the cause for the destruction of SETI Alpha 5. Kirk is off the hook for that, but I still want some explanation for why he never had Starfleet check on them.
He forgot.
That was stuff
He's a himbo. He has
He's a busy man.
He has like Orion ladies left and right. He forgot. Okay, I think this is the end for our review of Star Trek Khan, Episode 8, The Original Sin. And like, sub, hit the bell, etc. We'll be back next week with the season finale already? Oh, sad. All right, good night. See you next week. Vulcan salute.
Sarcastic Vulcan salute.
Sarcastic.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning into our podcast today. If you want to keep the hailing frequencies open, you can subscribe on Apple and Google Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. Like what you hear? Put in a good word with Starfleet and leave us a 5-star review.